if you stay busy enough in life and don't take the time to sit and rest and refresh and take that personal time, you're gonna crash and burn. And when that happens, it usually affects the people around you, your family, your organization, your business, your church ministry, now whatever it is, it affects more than you.
Hey Brian,
What's up?
earlier I asked you how your weekend was, and you said that you were relaxed and refreshed. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, um, yeah, it's a great question. I think for me, this weekend was great because it was some things that we did some things that I like to do. Um, Self care is really important in your life. You know, in business and ministry and your organization, you can tend to get really busy and forget about the self care. Self care, rest and relaxation is different than just taking a day off or even taking a trip. I can tell you, as a father, as a girl dad, especially, most of our vacations and trips aren't very, relaxing for dad. You know, we're doing all the planning and packing and hauling stuff, and although my girls are great and they're little helpers, there's only so much they can do. So a lot of times by the end of the vacation, daddy needs another vacation. But self-care is different. Self-care is really doing what you like to do. So this weekend, Zelda did everything that I like to do and everything that I wanted to do, which was great because it was a time for me to kind of sit back, do what I enjoyed, and really just rest. So there's two parts to that. So in the Bible, where God talks about creating the heavens and the earth, it says that on the seventh day He rested and was refreshed. So it's that refreshed part is where we really miss. Resting is pulling away from your vocation. God rested. He stopped what He was doing. He pulled away, which we often do that. We'll take a day off. We're off for the weekend. We take a trip, and that's the resting part. The refreshed part is different. The refreshed part is really, if you look at what the meaning was back then, it was to take a breath or be breathed upon. And that's that refreshing. That's going out and really doing something that you enjoy doing. That's taking that time away, being in your own element, to really sit back and be like, oh man, take that deep breath and then allow yourself to be breathed upon as well. So, and that's what this weekend was for me. It really wasn't about what we were doing, but it was about the fact that I was able to pull away, really do something I enjoy doing, and really just take a breath.
What's one of the top three things you enjoy doing that give you that refreshment?
Um, Top three, one would be going to the movies. I love going to the movies, although my kids say that the only reason I love going is so I can take a nap in front of a bigger TV. I love going fishing. Fishing is really refreshing and relaxing to me, because you're out there. I mean, you're out there, yeah, with some friends or family, or whatever. But still, you're out there. You're on the water. It's open air, peaceful. Usually, your phone stays in your bag. You're not getting any phone calls. And I think the third thing is, man, I really enjoy jumping on the tractor back here, putting my headphones on with some worship music and just cruising around, cutting the grass or doing something like that. Some just they're really I love doing things that don't require a lot of thinking, so I can still think, if that makes any sense. Uh, but yeah, those are probably my top three things to do,
So you talked
and
to
that's self care. Now, those are my top three for self care. I enjoy being with my wife and my daughters. Don't let them see this. They're my number ones. But we're talking about self care. That's me pulling away by myself.
So you talked about taking that one day out of the week for rest and refreshment, relaxation. What advice do you have for people that are in a season to where it seems like they just can't take one day out?
Well, I will tell you this: it's your choice. It's your choice to take a day off and rest. It's your choice to be as busy as you want to be. You have to learn to say no. You got to know that your health is more important than what you're doing. Uh, you're in charge of your own calendar, and you can't be scared to say no. And let me tell you, you're important. You know, the dreams, the opportunities, your family, everything that you have is not going to matter if you're not healthy enough to keep pushing. And I'm telling you, if you keep pushing, you're going to run out of gas. It's going to happen. And what happens is it don't. It's kind of like when you see a drunk person fall, or for that matter, any person, if they're sitting in the middle of a busy room or a packed room or a room where there's a lot of stuff around, when they fall, they don't just take themselves out. They usually take out two or three tables, two or three people that are standing next to them. Like when they fall hard. And I can tell you, if you stay busy enough in life and don't take the time to sit and rest and refresh and take that personal time, you're going to crash and burn. And when that happens, it usually affects the people around you, your family, your organization, your business, your church ministry. Now, whatever it is, it affects more than you. You're better off taking those days of rest, put them in your calendar, make them non-negotiable days, and you're gonna find that rhythm. You create that rhythm in your life to where it gets easier to take that day. Because what happened is after you saying no so many times, people are gonna know not to ask you to do anything on that day because that's your rest day.
So you got the rest day for the weekly rhythm. What advice or tips can you give for adding rest into a daily rhythm?
Yeah, you got to have your quiet time every day. Um, Schedule it. Mine is in the morning, and I live in a household full of women, so they all sleep late. So my quiet time is in the mornings. I'm able to get up, kind of have the house to myself, go through my morning routine, and I have 15, 20, 30 minutes, however long I want to take that morning. It's not about time. It's about creating that habit in your life. Once you create that habit, the time will increase. But that's the time that I take, in the mornings. Because once I get to work, I don't know what's going to happen. I could walk in thinking I'm going to have quiet time, and I'll be busy from 8 to 6 at night. So you want to schedule it, to where for sure it's going to be uninterrupted. You can't say, okay, well, today I'll make sure I take my time, because it's not going to happen. It's got to be scheduled.
As a husband and as a father and an employer, one who oversees others, how do you lead in helping people see the value of taking rest and relaxation in their own schedule, but as an employer also helping them have those times as well?
Yeah, I think for us, we're really open in sharing. So we make sure that our employees know that, family time is important, your time off is important, so that they're not scared to ask, that they know. If they come up to us and they have something going on, for their daughters or for their sons, or so that they know if they have something going on, that we're approachable and they can take the day off. I'm not going to lie to them and say, oh, I got a meeting, I got to leave today. I'm going to tell them, hey, I'm taking off today. I'm going to go fishing and enjoy some time. And that way they know that, if they need a day, they can ask me. And they can take the time because they know the importance of it. During summer, at the beginning of summer, we have our morning meetings. I tell everybody, hey, summertime's coming up. expect everybody's going to be off taking vacations. Let's put them all in the calendar or make sure y'all let us know. So we start the conversation to let them know, hey, it's important. We know it's important. Let us know when you're going to be gone.
That's good. Let's do a pop quiz. This might stay in and might not. We'll see what happens.
All right.
You gave me your top 3 ways of rest and relaxation for self-care. What are Zelda's top 3 ways of rest and relaxation?
Zelda's top 3 ways of rest and relaxation is, I'll give you her number 1. Zelda's number 1, if I take her to the beach and I get her all set up with an umbrella or, a chair, she will sit there on the beach looking at the water and just enjoying it for hours. Honestly, she doesn't even need me. She'll take off for a day by herself and just go sit on the beach. I think that's her number 1 most relaxing time. When we're on vacation, we'll go set up on the beach. We'll be walking back and forth to the house or the condo, whatever, all day long, and she stays on the beach. She loves to do that. I think her second thing will probably be spending time with her mom and her sisters, having just a girls' day, going out there. Her third, it used to be shopping, but with much prayer, I've asked God to take that away from her to make it a burden. No, I'm just playing. She just hadn't. She enjoys it still, but I don't think it's more of a rest for her anymore. I would say the third thing is just her just getting away by herself, to go do her nails and go whatever self-care that she likes to do. That would probably be her third thing.
Good. We got any more advice or tips before we head out?
No, I would just say, man, you've got to. I remember when we were teaching Kaylin how to ride a bike. The girls are about 18 months apart, so I was teaching both of them about the same time. And where we lived, right across the street was this little park, and it had a circular sidewalk. So that's where I was teaching them how to ride their bike. That way they can go in a circle and went through the whole steps and everything, and got Cam going, and she's going in the circle, and then Kaylin, she was younger, so she had a little harder time. So I took her out while Cam was going in the circle, I took her out to the straight sidewalk, and I was telling her, it's funny because I was, earlier when I was talking about you can push too hard, with riding a bike, you want to push on that pedal to get you going. Once you push on that pedal and get the bike going, then you can stand up, balance yourself, and then you start pedaling and take off. So that's what we were focusing on. I was like, okay, you got to push, you got to push, you got to push. So she finally got it. She pushed off. That bike came up. She balanced herself. She started pedaling. We were like, "You're doing it, Kaylin. You're doing it." Cam's yelling from the inside the park, and she's like, "Yeah, Kaylin, you're doing it. You're doing it." She's looking back at me. She's like, "Dad, I'm doing it. I'm doing it." And she's taking off, and I'm like, "Yeah, stop. Kaylin, stop." And she turns around and looks, and she said, "You didn't show me how to stop." So she's driving down the sidewalk through the neighborhood. I'm chasing her. Cammy's chasing me. Whatever dog we had at the time was chasing us. We're all running down the street chasing Kaylin. She thinks it's the greatest thing because now she can ride her bike, but she just doesn't know how to stop. And we must have ran around the neighborhood for about 5 minutes before she ended up turning into a cul-de-sac and had to turn around. I was able to stop her. But it's a funny illustration of just showing that you can push so hard that you just either don't know or forget how to stop. So, hopefully this helps you with that. Get with some people, talk to some people, figure out the best game plan, maybe with your family. But you have to learn how to stop in life, get rested, and get refreshed.